You know, outdoor people love it. You know, people that want the city life love it. People that want, you know, like I mentioned, the restaurants and things like that. And you know, we've got an international airport here.
Have you been thinking about moving to Texas? On this next clip, I'm going to introduce you to Chris. He's a wonderful agent that specializes in a city called Dripping Springs, which is just outside of Austin. So if you're thinking you want to move, but you don't want to move to another big city, this might be the perfect area for you. And he's definitely the perfect agent. However, I must warn you, when you move to Texas, you don't get his accent the day you move in. You're going to have to work on it. Hi guys, Kim Cross, your Crosstown Realtor, and I am here today with Chris Pesek, and he's from Texas. So I wanted to bring him on because I know a lot of you have been talking to me about moving to Texas, and I know a lot of my friends have already moved there. And as we were just talking about, a lot of California businesses have moved there. So if you don't mind, Chris, tell me a little bit about your area.
Well, first of all, Kim, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. I'm currently living in Dripping Springs, Texas, which is about 20 minutes outside of downtown Austin. So we're right in the middle of Central Texas, right in the middle. I mentioned with you a little bit ago, right in the middle of the epicenter of everything that's going on out here right now. You know, Austin it used to be a small, big town, but we are growing really quickly. The outlying areas, the former bedroom communities are now just kind of becoming part of the Austin metro area. And, you know, we're growing quickly. As I mentioned, we've got a lot of businesses coming here and things like that, which is why we're becoming a huge landing spot for people from out of state, not only from California, but we're getting a lot of people from the East Coast, Midwest, things like that. So that's kind of where I am and what's going on.
So you're pretty busy, obviously. And I know back in the day, people would like kind of go to Texas because you could get more for your money. I'm sure your prices are going up, but I've got to imagine you still have like a good size yard, good size house, all that fun stuff.
Without a doubt. You know, my most recent clients from California, they moved from about an hour outside of San Francisco, where they had an 1,800 square foot house that they sold for about 1.3 million. Right. They came here and bought a 4,200 square foot house on an acre and a half with views of the lake for 625,000. So wow. Yes, wow. Now the prices have gone up since then. That house right now is probably worth 900,000, but it's still a better horse trade than
even if it was the same price. You're getting all that acreage and more square footage.
That's right. That's right. And just a different way of life, basically.
Right. And even if like the bigger tech companies are moving like to Austin or the main city, now that people can kind of work from home, they probably have that advantage of going like you said, a little bit on the outskirts and still getting just this great deal or being in a great environment.
That's exactly right. And even out here in Dripping Springs, you know, one of the things that we have to work with is, you know, making sure that they can find good, reliable internet, because some of the areas out, you know, in the outlying areas, you know, it's line of sight internet or satellite internet doesn't work, but we're getting a lot of people that are telecommuting now and finding out, hey, you know, if they can find a house with a couple of offices and a little bit of high-speed internet, they only have to commute into town, you know, once a week or once a month even. Right. They're completely content to be out on an acre and looking at deer instead of their neighbor's fence. So
right. And then I know also people from California are kind of sometimes they're like a little spoiled with like, you know, the fun restaurants or fun activities and things to do. But obviously being close to a city like that, you guys have a lot to offer. So
Austin,
it's kind of,
it really, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No.
Austin has a huge food scene, and a lot of, you know, it used to be kind of centered downtown, but now there's little satellite, you know, places popping up in little strip malls that have phenomenal food. East Austin has a great food scene with little just hole in the wall dives that are phenomenal. We've got a lot of worldwide acclaim coming for chefs down here. I mean, heck, here even in Dripping Springs, we had a we'll call it country French, because I think that's the way they do it. It's a country French restaurant that popped up, and this guy actually studied in France under you know, Michelin chefs, and then in New York City, and he was telling me he was in a restaurant in Las Vegas that basically, if a couple went to eat and had just a typical meal, maybe a 3 or 4 course meal with some wine, the couple wasn't getting out of there for under $700 a night. And,
Wow.
and here in Dripping Springs, we're getting out of there for about 125 if you're
That's
having
pretty
wine in
nice.
here.
That's really
So
cool. That's very cool. Yeah. I'm
the food
embarrassed to
scene
say
is good.
I've never been to Austin, but my son has actually traveled there a couple times for business, and he keeps telling us we got to go visit. So it sounds
And
very
there's
enticing.
Oh my gosh. And there's something for everything here. I mean, the closer you get to the epicenter, you've got, you've got high-rise condos and things like that. You can have that downtown feel if you want, walkable to all the restaurants and everything that you want to do.
Right.
There's a great lake with a hike and bike trail around it that's just packed with people,
Wow.
on paddle boards and kayaks and things like that. So the outdoor life here is amazing because until this year, we typically don't cover up with snow. So even in the winter, we're out hiking, biking, and taking in the hill country and things like that. So it's really, a 11-month outdoor type place, 10-month if you don't like hot summers, because we do have some pretty hot summers. But
Mhm.
outdoor people love it. People that want the city life love it. People that want, like I mentioned, the restaurants and things like that. And we've got an international airport here, so you can fly to Europe. You can fly to the middle, not the Middle East, sorry, the Far East, from the Austin airport. So it really is just kind of the center of everything.
That's awesome. That's wonderful. Well, thanks so much. I'm not going to keep you much longer, but thank you so much
No.
for popping in here. And like I said, I have a lot of people that have been talking to me about moving out your way. So I'm going to put your contact information below. And you guys listening, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me or reach out to Chris directly. Okay. Thank you so
That's
much.
awesome. Thanks, Kim.
All right. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.